Welcome to the next series in the New to You TK videos. We will be focusing on social emotional learning and highlighting purposeful play. CASEL, or the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, is an organization that focuses on promoting the development of social and emotional skills in students. CASEL has identified 5 core competencies that form the foundation of social and emotional learning. These competencies are often referred to as the CASEL 5. Here's a brief description of each. Self-awareness, understanding one's emotions, strengths, and weaknesses, recognizing the impact of one's emotions on thoughts and behavior. Self-management, regulating emotions and behaviors in different situations, setting and working toward personal and academic goals, demonstrating self-discipline and impulse control. Social awareness, understanding and empathizing with others' perspectives and feelings, recognizing and appreciating diversity, demonstrating empathy and compassion. Relationship skill development, establishing and maintaining healthy relationships, communicating effectively and listening actively, resolving conflicts constructively, and responsible decision-making, making ethical and constructive choices, considering the well-being of oneself and others, evaluating the consequences of actions. These 5 core competencies are considered essential for individuals to thrive academically, personally, and socially. CASEL promotes the integration of social and emotional learning into educational curricula and provides resources to support educators, schools, and communities in fostering the development of these skills. The aim is to equip individuals with the tools they need to navigate life successfully, build positive relationships, and contribute to a more empathetic and socially responsible society. These components of the social emotional learning are referred to as the CASEL 5. We have a short video that we will attach or link to the guiding document that's about 5 minutes long, and basically it explains at a glance the CASEL 5. Take a moment to think of the impact SEL is for our youngest learners. We play an important role as educators in their learning. Social emotional learning is a crucial piece of the early learning equation. Research indicates that social emotional competencies are identified as among the most important abilities supporting early school success and the growth of academic competence during elementary school. Here is the scope and sequence highlights for second step. The skills and concepts are taught through short daily activities. In as little as 5 to 7 minutes, the lesson can be accomplished. We recognize and applaud the work you do all day in social emotional learning with your students. The power to grow. Support your youngest learners harness their energy and potential by teaching them to actively listen, give attention, self-regulate, and get along well with others. Here is a summary of best practices for SEL and UTK. Establish routines, procedures, and transitions. Thinking through your routines and procedures not only for the school day, but for each activity is essential in an everyday practice. This is especially true at the beginning of the school year when everything is new and students are possibly in their first formalized education setting. Be prepared and organized. Social emotional learning. Consider what kinds of support will be needed for students to develop socially and emotionally. Your SEL toolbox could include self-regulation practices, role-playing, mindfulness exercises, utilizing discussions with the second step kit lessons and the puppets, and incorporating picture books to discuss feelings and resolve conflicts. Here are some sample activities for social emotional learning. Role-playing mindful breathing exercises, gratitude circle, emotion puppet play, mindfulness activities, random acts of kindness charting, nature exploration and reflection, story time and discussion, emotions faces sorting. More ideas include feelings drawings or chalk play, collaborative art, empathy role-playing. We all know that sometimes social emotional lessons happen organically as events occur in our classrooms. Remember that if a topic comes up that might be beneficial to address on the spot, you can always pull a picture card from your second step kit and use it to do an on-the-spot mini lesson. Including culturally relevant, linguistically representative reading books is an important component of diversity, equity, and inclusion for our students. Learning about other cultures and families expands students' knowledge base and allows for the student to gain understanding and build empathy for differences found around them. One excellent resource we have available is the IMC library. There are thousands of new and diverse books just waiting for you to share with your students. These are the directions for how to order IMC materials online. Check online before heading over to the IMC library to see what their hours are for that day. Here are a couple of online resources.
Next, we will delve into the topic of self-regulation and how we can support our youngest learners.
It's Andrew Gilbert. My title at SEL Unified is Therapy Services Supervisor. I am an occupational therapist by trade. So I've been around since 1997 and also have an 18-year-old who has significant emotional regulation needs. So, I know a little bit. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of co-regulation. We did entitle the presentation approach into self-regulation, but for 4-year-olds, it's really important to note that they really require a lot of adult support or co-regulation or mutual regulation to get through the day. This is a new skill for them. So teachers are guiding and teaching and working throughout the school days. Self-regulation is learned through that co-facilitation, co-regulation, and through guiding them through of taking perspectives of, oh, look, so and so is feeling this way, or it appears that you're feeling happy, sad, or and asking those questions. And the one thing just think it's important to consider, like if a 4-year-old can't tell you that they need a nap, they're not going to tell you what strategy they're going to need to self-regulate. So that's and that's also consistent with the next slide coming up. That in the preschool learning foundations, which is really also a good resource for this age group, is that the adult guidance is needed. So that I would take it away, Holly.
All right. So we wanted to just point out that the most pertinent standards that we're addressing in our presentation today are coming right from the Preschool Learning Foundations, Volume 1, which is includes social emotional learning. And so we're going to be focusing on the 1.0 self-awareness and then 2.0 self-regulation. And many of these resources that we have, like Second Step, they will definitely be helpful in teaching this to our students. So remember those resources.
And remember too, in the lower right-hand corner, that bunny there, that is a calming bunny, and that is one of the materials in your kit. So that might be something you'll want to pull out after today's presentation. Thank you, Holly. I'm Allison Sarchecki. I think I pretty much know everyone in the, so whenever you're thinking about regulation, self-regulation, you want to be helping students and teaching students how to do this work. But as Andrew mentioned, at this age, you may need to do more like co-regulation, right? And that might be something like, I see you're feeling upset right now, or I see, you may not be happy about what just happened. So helping them name what they're feeling and how they're feeling may be a part of your teaching them, right? Of modeling how to do that work. So identifying and naming their feelings is a part of what we want to be able to teach students at this age. And you want to do this throughout the day, and especially trying to do it when they're not escalated, when they're not upset, right? So trying to teach them to do this work when they're not in the moment of, frustration or upset. And then the second step lessons, we want to reiterate, there's a lot of materials. There's big pictures where you have a scenario that you can talk through with your students and think about how a student is feeling and why they might be feeling that way. So for self-expression, another thing you can do is bring this out when you're doing any kind of reading with the students. But one of my all-time favorite books, as many of you probably know now, is Knuffle Bunny. And one of the things that I saw a speech teacher do at the beginning of the year, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, was having a speech bubble on one side and on the opposite side having a thinking bubble. So while she was doing a shared reading with the students, she had them stop and think about, what could this character say about how they're feeling, or what might this character be thinking about how they're feeling. So having that visual while you're doing shared reading or read alouds, I thought was just a really beautiful way to help them think about those two things. And Knuffle Bunny, if you don't know the story, Trixie cannot speak yet. So she's definitely exhibiting her feelings in nonverbal ways. So it's a really great book to use with this work. So
Play serves as a powerful tool for learning among 3 to 5-year-olds in UTK. It offers a holistic approach to development, fostering cognitive, social, emotional, and physical skills. Through various play activities, children explore, experiment, and engage in imaginative scenarios, promoting creativity and problem solving. Play also enhances language development, cooperation, and emotional regulation, laying a foundation for lifelong learning in a joyful and interactive manner. The Zones of Regulation is a framework designed to help individuals, especially children, develop emotional regulation skills. It categorizes emotions into 4 color-coded zones: blue for sad or tired, green for calm and focused, yellow for excited or anxious, and red as angry or upset. The framework aims to enhance self-awareness and provide tools for individuals to manage their emotions effectively. Occupational therapists are usually your first go-to to gather ideas for supporting a child's sensory systems. This is because most OTs have training in identifying sensory needs in children and can help you make a plan. Most importantly, talk to the learner's parents. Parents have the best tips for what works to meet the child's sensory needs. With young learners, it can be helpful to start using a visual support to help them identify how they are feeling and choose a strategy to help their body regulate. The beginning of the school year is a prime opportunity to put relationship building at the forefront. It will set the stage for the entire school year. Invest in creating a trusting relationship with your students. Some of the best ways to do this are to play more, do activities that you know they like, and have fun together.
Identify sensory differences in your students to support self-regulation and emotions. Your young neurodiverse students may not walk into the UTK classroom setting with neurological systems that are prepared to handle sensory input. It is crucial to identify individual sensory needs and accommodations that will support these differences. If a body is in fight or flight mode or is in sensory overload, it will not be able to take in what you are trying to teach. A body in that state definitely won't be able to learn in a group setting. You and your co-teacher may want to create a calming corner in your classroom. This is a safe space designed for students that may need a few moments to calm down or self-regulate.